promote artists,
Uh-huh.
and I wanted to pretty much contract them in a contract
Mhm.
for a small percentage. What it is he wants to have a website
Uh-huh.
and to have he wants to bring in other artists
Okay.
and pretty much
You broke up, man. Can't hear you.
stick from maybe even have auctions, maybe
Hey, you know
you know
what? I lost you. I lost you for probably 15 seconds, maybe 20.
okay. So where did you last hear me at?
You just were starting on. He's basically wants to be a broker between
Yeah,
artists and him being the procuring cause of finding people who want to buy stuff.
yeah, bro, you just freaking said it all right there. That's it.
That's all you had to say, man.
And all,
All
yeah,
good.
well, I'm saying, well, you know how to shorthand it, baby. You know how to
I
shorthand it.
do. I'm a shot caller, man. I'm a shot caller.
You want it, and look. Also, Trevor has expressed that he want to do some kind of an auction type thing online, or what? Auction my artist artwork through the website, or you want to do like in an actual live events through a website. Well, I want to start through a website first to get kind of like my name in the door of who
Hmm.
my company is.
Okay.
And
Cool.
all
So,
right,
Trevor, what kind of artists are they? Are they urban artists? Are they fine artists? What type of artists are these guys?
um, well, the artists that I look for,
Uh-huh.
they're painters, fine art, sculptors,
Uh-huh.
everything in the craft of art is what I will
Okay. So
represent.
can I shortcut it like I did with your uncle and give you some suggestions?
Your
Okay.
cousin, your cousin, your cousin.
Cousin, excuse me, cousin. All right, man. I'll get it. I'll get it. You know that big age difference between you two, you know?
Crazy,
Grandpa.
man. No, no, no. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I'm just messing with you, man. So a couple things. There are already platforms where you can upload people's content, watermark the content, meaning their artwork, pictures of their artwork, and you can have an instance of those, meaning your own copy or platform within a platform where everybody goes to go see art. Where
Mm-hmm.
people go to see and find art, they want to put it in their houses or want to get it sold or want other artists who, whether they be beginning artists, intermediate, or experts who want to be known out there. So as a marketing employee, your best option is to go that route. You don't want to reinvent the engine. You just want to utilize the best engines that are already out there, that are already secure, that already have the legal disclosures built into them to protect you, so that all you have to do is focus on what you do best, and that's find the artists, market those artists, and get your cut. Okay?
Boom. There
So
you go.
that's the back end. That's the back end. The front end is building a site that is a personalized site that markets you as the authority figure in the space of getting, whether it be unknown artists, intermediate artists, probably very few fine artists at your age. You might, maybe you've got some that in your hip already, but odds are you don't. And if you don't, then, and you're just wanting to go out and make a name for yourself, the best way to do it is to have what's called a personalized parallax style site that will basically promote you as that authority figure in the light that you choose, in the manner that you choose.
There you go. And Steve, I
Okay.
told him.
Hmm.
I'm not only did I tell him, but I showed him Theme Forest
Hmm.
and also showed him the website that you're
Good.
currently working on,
Yeah.
and he's blown away by it.
Well, let me tell you something. Trevor, there's a lot of great pre-made templates out there that all we have to do is have you get the vision in your mind's eye of looking at the thing that you like, the style that you like, and then replacing a picture of you in there or whatever messaging you want to put into that particular space and your offer, and then what your fees are and all that kind of stuff. You're going to probably want to, if you have some success already, you want to put the success in there, talk about it. And then there's some things that I wanted to talk to now that you're in the fray of the inner circle. You'll find out I'm funny. It's I'll get out. Pardon me?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
The inner
Okay.
sanctum.
The inner circle, man, not sanctum, circle.
Okay. Gotcha.
You haven't got in the sanctum yet. You're in the circle.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
outer circle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the next step, there are some things that you can do. The first step is having your site and your presence, so people can contact you. And it's called in the internet world, it's called, you have arrived. You got a stamp in the sky that says, I am here. This is me, and this is what I do. Okay, and I'm serious about it.
Steve.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, now that you said that, yesterday we went to HostGator and we brought a domain name.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like our stamp for Trevor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He has his own .com.
Okay, so what's your .com, Trevor?
www.freedomofthearts.com.
Boom. It's kind of long, I know, but.
No, I like it actually. I'm just visualizing. I'm an SEO guy also, and Trevor, I don't know if you were told or not, but I come from an advertising marketing background. My father owned a billboard company in Los Angeles for 45 years, and I got my ass kicked. 45. You start out with nothing. Two brains, pretty much. 2 hands and a brain, and built it up. So I worked in that career from the age of about 11 to the age of about 28.
11 years old.
I started on sweeping floors and cleaning toilets, and paid the dues, man. Paid the dues. They can't take that shit away from me. I'm a white guy. They can't take that shit away from me. You know how they try to play that racial card, right? Or that the backwards racial card all the time. It's funny. Knuckleheads. So the stories of jobs I've had in my life, you'd be like amazed. Many jobs I've had. Oh my God. I know you have too. So the first step is building a site and having your vision and putting your vision to place in relationship to the look and feel that you want based on a theme that is chosen. Okay. Once the site is built and we put the pieces together on the site, then the next part is to integrate, do some research, integrate the best platforms where you can aggregate. You want to go to the places that people want to see the art. Okay. Now, that can be regional, that can be national, that can be whatever you want it to be. And then the next step is when you go to those places, how is the art going to be displayed based on what you're trying to show? Because it's not just pictures on a wall, right? It could be all kinds of art in many different formats, So and what stories are you going to tell, and how are you going to tell those stories? Are you going to be a personal? If I was you, I'd be a personal storyteller. I'd go out and I'd be like a reviewer. And I told this, I expressed this stuff earlier, last couple of weeks, that if you express yourself on the net, just like that guy who in whatever town we're in, that gets on that radio station or gets on the TV station, and he's the connoisseur of food, and he could be some buffoon, but he was smart enough to go out and go eat stuff and talk about it, and then he became a figure. Yeah, every city has one, right? Bourdain. Yeah. Unfortunately, that dude's dead.
Yeah, I know suicide.
Yeah. I could go into another story on that one too, but I won't.
But
Poor
all
guy.
that talent.
Yeah, all that talent gone. So my point is you're at such a young age. You've got everything ahead of you. You've got a great opportunity, and a lot of what your ability to make money or not make money is going to be based on the economics of who you talk to, whom you talk to, the circles that you run yourself around with.
Yep.
Okay, and what signature are you going to deliver to have you stand out against the crowd?
Mhm.
Okay, so the signature in your case, especially your case, is really, really relevant because you going out there and I mean, you can go out there and start selling some things and start the ground up and start selling product and being real smart about what you sell and get it sold and really working hard to get it sold. Now, that would also include selling art items to hotels, selling artifacts to institutions, to nonprofits, to whatever the case may be, where you can actually get your name out there. So what I would probably do if I was you, I would build a site. I would help. I can help you find some solutions that you can do research on. I would also set up an events like meetups and join some in under meetups.com. I would probably, if I were you, join some groups, some authoritarian groups that are people of your like kind that meet in your local area, so that you can be in the inner circle. Get the
Okay.
knowledge that you need to get, and then the next step is just hustling every day, getting there and hustle. And the other thing that you have to do that I guarantee nobody's doing, I'm 100% at that affirmation that there might be 1/10 or 1% of the people that are doing what I'm just going to tell you. And that is once you get your site up, you get your platform ready, you have some pieces on the platform, then the next step is to do marketing. And what I would do in your case, I would go after Instagram and what's the other one? The photos.
Facebook,
No, not well. I go Facebook too, but I would start out with Instagram, and I would
Snapchat.
start out not Snapchat. That's for like 12-year-olds.
Yeah. Twitter.
Serious. No,
Twitter.
man. What's the other one? Pinterest. Pinterest.
Pinterest. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Now, the reason I'm telling you to go after those two is because you as being a millennial or whatever the term is after a millennial, micro
Mm.
millennial or something, I would suggest to you that you go after artwork that let me step back from it. Let me ask you a question. Who's your demographic? Do you know who your demographic is? Do you know
Um,
what a demographic is?
nah, not really.
Thank you for acknowledging that you don't know. That's powerful. I want you to know that. No, I'm serious on this one. The biggest
Yeah.
mistake that young people make is they don't admit old people, by the way, they don't admit that they don't know something.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fact that you can acknowledge that, and then the next thing you say is, I may not know what that is, but I'm certainly going to research it and find out. I appreciate you telling me that. That gives you power. So
Yeah.
that's Steve's bit of power for the day. So so what I would do if I was you is I would start going after. If you already got some connections, I would talk to those people. I would tell them that you're gonna watermark their art, but you're gonna post their art on a Pinterest page based on the vertical. Now, what a vertical is think of a pillar, okay? Think of a pillar and then another pillar and another, like a column, right? And
Okay.
during the Roman days, right? Each column is called a pillar. Each pillar represents a vertical market. What I mean by that, going up and down that vertical has to do with a specific market. Okay, it could be a market that's a vertical market. Like for example, I have a client that does urban clothing wear in Southern California, and he has his own urban line, and he sells his own urban line. But then he's got his other business where he does printing on stuff, and he does things for businesses and other things. His vertical market of his own happens to be the urban line. Okay, it's taggers is what it is. Originally, it was just for tagging. And then the next line he got into was doing hats and things for sports teams, and then he has the corporate version for tchotchkes and hats and shirts and whatever else for business owners. So each one of those is a vertical. So in your case scenario, your verticals would be what's your first line of product that you're going to sell? What vertical is that? What's your second line of product that you're going to sell? Product mean, is it going to be imperial? What's that? Whatever, I forgot the names of, but you got your traditional, and you've got your 19th century art, and you've got your whatever, right? You got your different versions of art or styles, and you want to put those in. I would also market, if I was you, I would, and hopefully you're recording this as you always do.
Yeah, I am.
Good. I would also do. I would actually create a line that's specifically for millennials. An affordable line that's like a one-time deal or a numbered item that's specifically for millennials or people that are active people, or even people who are women. You're going to go after women who are married to geeks. And the reason I say that, I would even make that a vertical. Women who are married to geeks. And what I would do is I'd go after that vertical, and in the vertical, I would put artwork, because those guys are making an average of $120,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making $120,000 a year, and the wife says, "I want that." What are they going to do? Go get it, honey. It's only $4,000. I'll do that.
Okay.
See how I just segued and I found a way to find money indirectly?
Yeah. Yep.
So I want you to start figuring out how you can make money indirectly. There's a traditional pathway from A to B, and then there's the alternative pathways to get to the same place. Called proxy. Call it a proxy.
Another thing that I want to do is also not just get my business known, but the artists that I represent get their reputation up, because as their reputation goes up, their
name recognition goes up, right?
Their name recognition goes up, and the worth of their art goes up. Just like a Da Vinci painting
or Picasso.
Now, what are these guys? How much do these guys? What do they charge for their artwork, as an average? Give me an example.
Well, Leonardo da Vinci from
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm not those guys. I already know all about that. I'm old school, man. I'm 60. I just turned 60. I'm old school. I probably knew those. I probably knew those fucking guys. Okay.
Trevor laughing.
So what I'm trying to get at, Trevor, is you got to follow the ball, okay? Follow the ball with Mr. Linnin. So you want to go after you want to go at whatever those guys are selling them for. If you haven't defined what you're going to sell them for, why even go out and sell them? Because you don't know what your percentage is. You need to know what your probabilities of selling them at what price are going to be. Okay, if you don't have a basis to go by, then the only thing you can do is put it up on the auction block and see what somebody will pay for it. Okay. Now, if you have some guys that have one-time offer, or if you have another guy who has art that he makes he makes one copy and then he does printouts of other copies of the same copy, but he numbers those copies. That's a whole different model, right? But that's a model where, for example, there was an artist that came out of like not New York. It was like San Francisco or whatever, and this guy would do artwork. Just was off the chart, wonderful pieces for people. And in the middle '80s, he became the number one known replication. He was one of the first replication artists to replicate artwork that was off the chart, beautiful artwork that people could put that the common man could buy. And he became a multi-millionaire. And I can't think of what the guy's name is. Unfortunately, he was a hardcore alcoholic. Maybe he could do the art as well as he could. But my point here is you got to clearly define What's your art? Who you're going to go after? What price point you're going to go after? Why is that price point relevant? Because when you come up against artists, you come up against egos. You don't come up against reality. Because they all think that art is worth far more than it is until they get known.
That's deep. That's deep.
Well, it's truth also.
Well,
Mind you, me being in the billboard industry all those years, I saw a lot of them.
yeah. So you know. Wow.
Uh-huh. So you have to be smart about what you do, and you need to turn the tables on them. But the only way you turn the tables is show a success or two. Okay, so you have to define who those artists are and what capacity those artists are, what label they are labeled under, meaning are they known? Are they well known? Are they up and comers? Or if they are up and comers, how do they know that? You ask them that question. Oh, you're an up and comer. Great. Well, how do you know that? Well, I've sold 4 pieces at $2,400. Well, and how long you been in business? Oh, 10 years. Well, you're not an up and comer. You only sold 4 pieces.
Yeah.
See, so it's asking the deeper questions that give you the quality answers that tell you what to do and how to go after what you're going after. There's zero reason for you to jump into something unless you know what the end game is.
Yeah.
And do some research. Hate to beat you up, man, but this is life. I'm giving you the best knowledge that I could ever give you from a guy who's lived life and gotten beat up.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just taking it all in.
Yeah. So you need to do a little bit of homework. I don't just put things together and build things. I build things for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to help you along the way. But a couple of things. You have to do the heavy lifting. You got to listen to what I tell you to listen to. Take in what you want. Use what you want. Throw away what you want.
Okay. Now,
Go ahead.
When we first started, you said I needed to go somewhere and learn from people that are doing it. I can't remember what you said.
I'm recording it, so we can go back and watch it again.
Yeah. So you need to go to people who are doing it, meaning that you need to go to meetups. There's a site called Meetups.
Meetups?
Meetups, meetups.com or meetup.com. Okay. And you need to go into there and type in, art cells or art cells group, or they're all groups. They're all meetup groups. Okay. Urban art meetup groups or new art ups or young person groups or whatever. I would go to the ones that are where the senior guys are that have been around, and you want to do it within the vertical market that you're in, and you have to define coming into the game. Anybody who comes into the game, the only way they get into the game to do it, to get to the upper levels, is they go get a degree. Typically, the pattern is in today's world is they go get a degree, they go work for a nonprofit organization, or they go work for a museum or something like that. Get to know some people in the museum, and then all of a sudden be a curator and do some stuff inside of it, and then go work for a known art exhibit location or foundation or something like that, right? Follow the money trail. But the reality is when they go to those places, they get beat up. They don't make any money because they use them because they don't have to pay them a lot of money. They're trying to get in. You're a dime a dozen. So the question is how do you get into the game and rapidly do it quickly? Well, there's a way to do that. You got to do a proxy move, right? You got to come out. You got to come. It's like a running back. You got to come on like a what we call defensive end hitting a running back. You got a blindside to do. Not even let them know you're coming, and hit them. Well, the same thing holds true with whatever career you're in. If you're coming out of it, and do you have a college degree right now?
I'm currently receiving one, actually.
So in the process, how much longer do you have?
About a year.
Okay. And what are you studying?
I'm actually studying entertainment, business and entertainment.
Okay. Good for you. That's it, Good luck, man. It's tough. It's tough.
Steve was born and raised in Los Angeles, so he knows all about entertainment.
Oh, really?
I ran around with movie stars and stuff.
Yeah.
people.
He's
And I was
born.
in the guys in the orange in the yellow jackets that you see at sports events. I was one of the first ones to do that. The company was started. My brother played for the New York Giants football, and he played in the with Warren Moon at University of Washington. Played in a couple Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, and Hawaiian Bowl, and then he played in the NFL, and then for 2 years, then he played in the USFL in San Francisco with the Oakland Invaders back in the middle '80s. So, so our family's been through an interesting career in our, pathway in our lives, living in Southern California, and I got into computers and technology real early because my brother played at University of Washington, where it all started. It's 1977. He went to University of Washington, his first year. So, I've got quite a bit of a background. I can help you along the way. You'll find out that sometimes I'm blunt and abrasive, and I do that on purpose.
Sometimes.
I make you laugh. Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater, man.
Brutally blunt. Brutally.
I'm gonna take away your blanket.
Oh no! Don't do that. Please don't. Please don't.
So, please listen to me to whatever degree you choose. If you think if it hurts your feelings and you don't want to hear it, that's okay. That's fine. I'm good with that, man. Some people are ready for info. Some people aren't. I certainly wasn't, and I certainly paid a heavy price for a lot of it in my life because I didn't listen. And there are times when I'm glad I did not listen because they were buffoons. So you have to pick and choose and figure out who's got the wisdom, who doesn't.
And Trevor, and guess where I met Steve at?
Why?
Fiverr. Right, Steve?
Yeah. And I joke with him. Because I tell Taylor that he called me to have a consultation for me for $5, so he paid me to talk to him. Now, this is an example. This is a simple example of how you build relationships and how you do things, and you can flip the tables and build your business. The power of your business is going to be social media. It's not going to be knocking on doors every day. It's going to be the power of social media. If you go out and there's a gentleman on TV or on YouTube, Gary V, and Gary started out trying to sell wine at his dad's wine store, liquor store. And his dad had a whole bunch of wine and stuff laying around. And Gary was like 21, 22 years old. And he was the first to go on YouTube. And each day he just went and he sipped, and he talked about a certain wine type. And he sipped it. And he said it was either bad or good. It was dry or wet or whatever it may be, right? And he became an authority figure. And he took his dad's company, from doing maybe 35,000 a year in wine sales to doing over 20 million.
Mm.
And then he took that and he parlayed that into being a social internet guru, where he's now making probably 200 million.
Mm.
Where did he do it? He did it on the internet, just by
Wow.
opening his mouth. Okay. So my point is you need to bypass. You need to be the spokesperson of artwork, and and where you go in each day, and you do a series. Whether you set things up and you go to that particular location and you talk about the art, you talk about the price, you talk about how many units are. Go ahead.
So
the
do you
history.
think? So you think that Trevor should like delve into the past and study all different types of history so he can have a good background?
You always have to, if you're going to go into that space and you want to know what you're talking about, because you want to do a cross reference of past history to current history, because everything flows from past history.
Yeah.
That's why they have art. That's why they have art classes. One artist came from another artist. It came from another artist, and expanded out to new art based on what was going on in the world.
Yeah. So knowing the different types of art will really.
So you have to. And let me tell you something. Trevor, you don't need to go. You don't need to go and spend a bunch of money in college to do it. And I would in fact even tell you that you're an absolute freaking buffoon if you do. And let me tell you why. Every bit of knowledge you could ever possibly want is on the internet for free. Okay, every bit. The website development that I taught myself starting 10 years ago, while being a real estate broker in Southern California for 35 years, and a mortgage broker for 26 and a half years, and being in the billboard industry for 13 years. Okay. And also working for a nurses registry at night from 7 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning for 3 years straight.
Wow.
And also working security for the guys in the yellow jackets throughout all of Southern California in all kinds of venues when I was 18, 19 years old, to sweeping floors for a company that did seismograph technology for earthquakes when I was 13, 14, to mowing lawns when I was 8 and 9.
Mm.
Everything that I did in my life, I could go on, all the things that I've done in my life, I did because I was told by my father that the world is changing. You better get busy because you're going to have more than one career.
Mm.
And you're gonna be one of those people that's going to be stuck out in the cold and wondering what happened to life. And when the time happens for you, whenever that happens, unless you step up and start moving quickly. And right now we are going to, mark my words, we're going to be going into a recession in 2020, more than likely. Might be even sooner. We're going to have another recession that's going to be very similar to what we had in 2009, 2010. Okay. So you want to position yourself for that event. You don't want to be out busting your ass, building up all kinds of people with artwork and not be able to sell the artwork. You want to be on the other side of the fence. You want to be a guy who's already built yourself up and who's a guy that can go out and get the artwork that people have to sell because they have no choice and make your commission and charge a higher fee.
Yeah.
Just like a guy who goes out and when the market crashes in real estate and all of a sudden that house that was worth 400,000 and now worth 150. All those other guys that were in the business, they all ran away and they couldn't do the business anymore. It wasn't worth it for them. Because the commission on 150 is $3,000, 100,000, $3,000. Let's just split. So
that's what's up. Okay. Steve, what I'm gonna do is give him your number. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Give him my Skype. My computer went down yesterday, so I had to order some parts on Amazon because now that I live in Lake Havasu, Arizona, I have to go and it used to be so funny. I used to just go about 20 minutes away and go pick up whatever part I wanted because the hub of all the parts that go throughout all the country is right there in Los Angeles, about 3 miles away from where I live, where I used to live. Now I have to go online and order it and have it delivered in 2 days,
Silicon Valley or something like that?
No, man. It was a city called City of Industry. And it's right out 30 minutes outside of downtown Los Angeles. And it's the hub of where huge amounts of part manufacturers for everything you can imagine on technology, innovation, where there are distribution centers and they span out and go out to all over the country.
Wow.
So part of Orange County too. So, but now I had to order online, but I'll fix it tomorrow. By the way, Trevor, I also fix computers and taught myself how to fix computers and do virus protection, and I did that also for 30 years. So my point here, my friend, is get busy, start putting a plan together, okay, and figure out a way to how you can accelerate your opportunities.
That's what's up. All right, Steve, we'll be in touch, and we're going to. That's why I said we wanted to talk to you because I know that you would rather help him to be able to choose that template. Of course, once he gets all that you said together.
Yeah, he's got some homework to do. You're wise if you do the homework up front.
Yeah, yeah,
Figure out your which way, which manner, which pathway you're going to go. Start doing some research on Instagram. Go to Udemy, udemy.com, and go take some courses for you can get it for $9.95 this week. Get an account for $9.95. You can get huge amounts of information on Udemy about social media, about Instagram, all kinds of stuff, Facebook marketing. Each course is like $9.95. Massive information.
Cheap.
So
That's what's up. All right. Well, we're going to give him your number, and he's going to
okay.
be reaching to you when he has questions and so
Sure.
forth and all that. And we
All right, man.
recorded
Well,
this.
have a good evening,
Recorded. All right, Steve. Well, you have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll
Thanks,
be in
man.
touch
Yeah.
with my site. Okay.
Okay. You guys have a good one. Take care.
Thanks,
All right. Bye bye now.
Take care. Bye.
Uh-huh.